All right, chapter 28 of Restart. This one is Shoshana Weber. By the time I get to Portland Street, I'm walking so fast that the others are half a block behind me and running up to catch Chase. I didn't think I could be madder at him than I already am, but this almost makes it worse. He's innocent of the attack on Joel. I saw it with my own eyes. It was easier when I could just hate his guts, no questions asked. But it's not as simple as that. Now, every time I work myself into a good rage, I'll see him trying to protect Joel, or working with the video club, or interacting with Mr. Soloway, and that will ruin everything. It's a mix of good and bad that makes my head spin. Worse, a lot of the mean things I said turn out to be wrong, and it might be too late to take them back. In the lobby, I wait for others to catch up and drag them down the hall to Mr. Soloway's room. I knock on the door, but burst inside without waiting for an answer. The old man is doubled over in his favorite chair, working at his sneaker lace with innocent concentration. Spying me, he exclaims, "Well, don't just stand there. Come on in. Help me undo this knot." I don't bend in the middle like I used to. And when I do, I get close enough I can't see it. I step inside, and the others follow. "By all means," Mr. Soloway adds, "invite the whole world with you. Watch the old Cotter trying to untie his shoes. Who's bringing the popcorn? You're going to have to blow up balloons yourselves. I haven't got the wind for that anymore." I kneel down and pick the knot out of his shoelace. "Mr. Soloway," I ask breathlessly, "has Chase been here?" He shakes his head. "Haven't seen him in days." "You either," he adds, a little accusingly. I feel awful. I haven't come by since Joel got hurt. And now I realize that Chase hasn't visited since that horrible day either. It never occurred to me that before, because my only thought about Chase were how much I despised him. But to Mr. Soloway, it must look like we didn't need him anymore because our video was finished, and we just tossed him aside. It's my fault, I confess. I got mad at Chase for something that was only partly his fault. That's why he stopped coming. Not because he didn't want to see you, but because he didn't want to see me. And I stopped because I didn't want to run into him. I feel a hand on my shoulder. Joel is standing next to me, and I realize that he's trying to tell me I'm getting so worked up about this emotionally that I'm not making much sense. A crooked smile spreads over Mr. Soloway's craggy face. "I wouldn't be young again for all the tea in China." Kimberly steps forward. "We saw a movie about you in school." "That was Warrior," Brendan supplies quickly. "The project Shoshana and Chase did together." There's a commotion out in the hall, loud voices and pounding footsteps. Mr. Soloway frowns. "Not wheelchair roller derby again. The greatest generation. They think they own the world." I poke my head out of the door in time to see Chase sprinting toward me with, of all things, a vacuum cleaner clutched in his arms. As I watch, he's yanked violently backward off his feet. He falls hard and clings to the appliance. Aaron is on the floor behind him, both hands on the electrical cord that brought Chase down. Bear hurdles the fallen Aaron and descends on Chase like a bird of prey. And when Chase won't give up the vacuum, Bear rains punches on his head and shoulders. I hear a cry of outrage from Kimberly, but it's not as loud as my own. The two of us rush forward and jump on Bear, trying to pull him off Chase. And it works. He scrambles back to his feet and shoves us away from him. Kimberly bounces off the wall, and as we stumble together, our heads meet with a crack. I see stars. Hey! Little undersized Brendan comes flying in at Bear, his anger lending him courage nobody ever knew he had. He begins pummeling Bear, landing blow after blow. It's insane. David versus Goliath. He isn't even making proper fists. His thumbs stick out like apple stems. Then Bear's shocked expression turns to cruel glee, and he laughs, even as Brendan continues to flail at him. Finally, he hauls off and cracks his much smaller assailant with a bone-crushing uppercut to the jaw. Brendan falls off the floor and lands 6 feet away. Amazingly, Brendan gets up, his chin bright red from the punch, and starts for Bear again. Chase is on his feet, reaching out to hold Brendan. It's a good idea. Those two gorillas could really dismantle him. Aaron snatches the vacuum from the floor and draws it back like a baseball bat. And the ball is in Chase's head. I rasp a warning. Chase! Mr. Soloway's walker comes freewheeling down the hall. It slams into Aaron's kidneys just when he's off balance for the home run swing. He and the vacuum tip over backwards onto Bear. 3 of them, Anna Bear, Aaron Bear, and the Hoover, clatter to the floor. Ha! Bullseye! Exclaims Mr. Soloway with satisfaction. There they are. The heavy doors at the end of the corridor are thrown open, and Joel appears, leading Nurse Duncan and 2 security guards. Way to go, Joel. At least somebody had the brains to go for help. Aaron and Bear are ready to fight another round, but the arrival of security and the head nurse puts an end to their action. Brawling in the middle of court-ordered community service wouldn't look good on their records. Bear points an accusing finger at Chase. It's his fault. Nurse Duncan is in a towering rage. What is? Residents are beginning to appear in the doorway to investigate the cause of the disturbance. So the head nurse drops her voice. What is all this insanity about? In answer, Chase pulls the filter bag off the Hoover and dumps the contents onto the floor. He digs through the mound of fuzz and dirt and comes up with a star-spangled ribbon gray with dust. Dangling off the end of it is the highest and most renowned military decoration any American soldier can earn, the Medal of Honor. Not even the contents of the vacuum bag can dull its brilliance. It is mine, Mr. Soloway asked. Is it mine? Mr. Soloway asks in amazement. Chase nods. I took it from you. I don't remember doing it. It was before my accident, but that's no excuse. He hands it to its rightful owner and bows his head, shamefaced. It was the old you, Brendan mumbles around in a rapidly swelling jaw. There's only one me, Chase says it so quietly that I can barely hear him. Mr. Soloway turns the medal over in his fingers. He seems stunned. What about those 2 clowns? He asks. Were they in on it? Aaron and Bear turn terrified eyes on their former best friend. It was just me, Chase replies. I took it and I hid it behind a loose cedar shake on the roof of my house. That's what I was doing when I fell. I guess I got what I deserved. He shakes his head. I don't know why I would do such an awful thing. I must have thought I could sell it. Mr. Soloway looks shocked and very sad. I almost speak up for Chase, but the sight of the stolen metal strikes me mute. Good Chase, bad Chase. There's no question that we're looking at the handiwork of the worst one of all. I can tell that Joel wants to support Chase, but he doesn't know what to say. He's the quiet twin. I'm the mouthy one. Brendan's jaw is turning purple, so he's not talking either. Kimberly's completely lost, and Aaron and Bear are so relieved that no one's blaming them that they're keeping their mouths shut too. The only words come from Nurse Duncan. Well, I have no idea what any of this is supposed to mean. The one thing I understand is that a crime has been committed here. She takes a deep breath. I'm calling the police. Oh boy.